This is Steve, and you are watching Classified Captures. Now do me a favor, stick around until the end, because you're not gonna want to miss this episode. Trust me on that. Some mysteries don't fade with time. They sit there, unanswered, almost daring you to make sense of them. And this case from 2025 is one of those. On November the 23rd, a British student set out on a hike through the Romanian mountains. His goal was simple: reach Bran Castle, a place many know as Dracula's Castle, a destination surrounded by history, legend, and stories that refuse to die. But he never made it. As evening set in, he called emergency services. His voice carried a sense of urgency. He was tired, hungry, and he needed help. He told them he was resting on the mountain waiting for rescue. And then nothing. When authorities arrived and began searching the area, George was gone. Not missing in the usual sense. Gone. His hiking bag was still there, a tent set up. Food items were scattered across the ground as if they'd been there moments before. But George himself had vanished without a trace. No footprints leading away, no disturbed snow, no trail to follow, no blood, no signs of a struggle, nothing. And that's what makes this case so difficult to explain. The Romanian mountains in late November are unforgiving. Heavy snow covers everything and temperatures drop fast. Under those conditions, moving even a short distance should leave some kind of trace. But there were none. It's as if he never left that spot, and yet he was no longer there. So what really happened to George? Did panic set in, pushing him to wander blindly into the freezing darkness? Did something else find him first? Something hidden deep within that wilderness? Or is it just a coincidence that his final destination was Dracula's Castle, a place tied to centuries of dark and unsettling history? It sounds impossible, maybe even absurd, but when a man disappears without a single trace in conditions that should have recorded his every step, the line between logic and something else begins to blur. Watch closely, because this is one of those cases where the answers may never come. An eyewitness in Arlington, Virginia captured this footage and shared it online. And once you see it, it's genuinely hard to look away. Hanging in the sky is what appears to be a massive disc-shaped object, almost like a giant hockey puck suspended in midair. It doesn't drift, it doesn't tilt, it just sits there, steady, controlled. And then you notice the lights, glowing points surrounding the object, giving it an almost unreal presence. The kind of detail that immediately makes you question what you're actually looking at, because the way it holds position in the air is what many serious UFO researchers describe as non-ballistic movement. In other words, it's not behaving like anything we understand through normal physics. It's not a plane, it's not a helicopter, and it's definitely not looking like a weather balloon or a commercial drone. The scale of it makes that even clearer. This thing looks enormous, far too large to dismiss as something ordinary passing through the sky. And this is where things get complicated. With footage like this, there's always one question that cannot be ignored. Are we looking at something real or something created? AI video technology has reached a point where scenes like this can be fabricated with unsettling accuracy. And that means every clip like this comes with doubt built into it. Still, if this footage is genuine, then it raises a much bigger issue, because something that large, moving like that, and sitting in the sky with that level of control is not something that should go unexplained. Take a moment, look at it again, and ask yourself, well, what exactly are you looking at? This can't be real, right? Wait. Well, one of you asked us to check out this clip, and the first thing that came to mind when I saw it was like a flash of some sort. Yeah. The thing about this assertion is the flash is fictional and not real, so what gives, right? Well, there are theories. Some think we might be looking at an extraterrestrial or interdimensional being that made its way into our plane and was moving around. Others think it's like a government project or something like that. It's the Flash! It's the series of the Flash! It's that guy dressed in red. Either that or it's Sheldon Cooper having a bit of a meltdown, one or the other, but, yeah, I don't know. As I've always said, every single time we've been doing these reaction videos, if it's blurry, in this day and age, even with CCTV footage, it's usually to try and cover something up. In this case, to cover up the fact that it's CGI or AI. Now, I don't know if you guys have heard anything about something weird that fell in Ohio that caused like a bit of a boom. Well, we got the footage here now. So why don't we watch this together and see if we can figure out exactly what it is that's caused it. I mean, from a camera angle, that could have just been something that fell off the roof of the house, causing the camera to tremble a little bit, you know? But the fact that so many people heard this, I guess that's what makes it a little bit different, right? I mean, we could pass it off as CGI and stuff, but I don't know. Maybe the aliens are finally arriving. Next, we got this clip recorded by a group of friends who were out at night in Los Angeles when something in the sky caught their attention, and almost immediately they started recording. What they captured begins as a bright, flaming orange orb cutting through the darkness. It stands out instantly, not just because of the color, but because of the intensity. It's burning, glowing, demanding attention as it moves. And then it changes. As they continue watching, a long trail begins to form behind it, stretching further and further like something tearing through the sky. The glow intensifies, the tail growing brighter and more defined as it pushes forward, before slowly that color begins to fade. The orange burn weakens, the light dims, and just like that, it disappears into the darkness. Now, naturally, the person filming started running through possible explanations. At first, he thought it was a meteor, and to be fair, that makes sense. Meteors entering the Earth's atmosphere often create that exact kind of bright streak as they burn up due to friction. What most people call a shooting star is essentially the same thing, just on a smaller scale. Others suggested it could have been a satellite re-entering the atmosphere. They can also produce visible burning along with a trailing light as it breaks apart on descent. And then there's another possibility. SpaceX launches have been mistaken for UFOs over Los Angeles more than once, simply because of how unusual they look against the night sky. But here's where things become less certain. The person who recorded this didn't feel like it matched any of those explanations. And when you watch the footage closely, there's something about the way that trail develops, the way that orange burn holds and spreads, that feels slightly off compared to what you would expect from a typical shooting star. Not completely impossible, just different enough to make you pause. So take a look for yourself. Was this just a meteor burning up in the atmosphere, a satellite on its way down, or something else entirely moving through the night sky?
Is it a rocket?
It might be a rocket. It looks very SpaceX-y to me.
It's coming here.
If it is, it's going to be wonderful.
Oh, wow. There's definitely a line there. Oh, wow.
Yeah. This is a great SpaceX viewpoint. It's SpaceX, by the way. Absolutely.
That's absolutely SpaceX?
Yeah.
I thought SpaceX was white. Oh,
No, this is SpaceX.
wait, SpaceX or, I mean, it's from, you're saying it's
Either that or
from
this
SpaceX.
is like the best meteor I've ever fucking seen.
Are we watching a meteor right now?
This CCTV footage was captured on a naval ship in the middle of the night, and after it surfaced on Reddit, it spread quickly for one simple reason. No one on that ship could explain what it shows. Out of the water, something emerges. At first, it's hard to process what you're even looking at, but then it moves. And that's when it becomes unsettling, not just strange, but deeply uncomfortable to watch. It pulls itself onto the deck. Leading the movement is what appears to be a pale white face, and behind it, a long, sinuous body follows, stretching out, trailing, slithering across the surface like a snake. But it doesn't move like a snake. There's something off about the motion, the way it glides, the way it seems to carry itself forward. It doesn't match anything familiar. And then there is the face, because snakes don't have faces like that. This is the detail that stops most people. The shape, the presence. It feels almost human, but not quite. Enough to trigger recognition, but different enough to be disturbing. Many who've seen this footage immediately drew comparisons to the river spirit from Spirited Away, and when you look at the still frames pulled from the video, that comparison becomes difficult to ignore. Of course, there's a more grounded explanation. Navy CCTV is not always the clearest, especially at night. Low resolution, harsh lighting, reflections of the water. All of these can distort shapes and create illusions that seem far more real than they actually are. What we might be seeing could simply be the camera struggling to interpret movement in these conditions, but then again, almost every culture connected to the sea has its own stories, accounts of water spirits, entities that move between the ocean and the physical world, things that surface when they're not meant to be seen. And every now and then, something shows up on camera that doesn't quite fit into the explanations we're comfortable with. Watch it carefully, and you decide for yourself what exactly climbed out of the water. Now, I know this is probably gonna sound strange to you, but I've heard quite a few people talking about the fact that everything in life feels like it's sped up, like time is moving faster than normal. Some people are putting it down to this Hadron Collider, and all sorts of conspiracy theories are coming through, but we got a video here now of a guy who believes that all of this could possibly make sense.
Time, okay? Let me show you something. I set this clock when the time changed. I had to move it back, right? So it's 11:45, almost 46, right? Now, let me show you something. These clocks I set to the same time, 11:45, almost 46. But when I look at the time on my iPhone, let me see if I can look here, use my other phone. Look at this. 23:52. 7 minutes off. And that's within a matter of 6 months. Look at this. 45, 45, 45. Why would I go out of my way to set all these 7 minutes off? I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't. 52.
But these are all man-made devices. Even if time was speeding up, how would that affect the actual devices? Have we got any scientists around here? Any scientists that watch the show, could you please try and explain this to me? Because I've never quite understood this. If people are talking about time speeding up, slowing down, doing whatever, how does it actually affect devices? Because the devices themselves are in the same time zone. The watch, surely the clocks aren't suddenly going to start doing this as well. It's a machine, you know? You get what I'm saying? Time is a man-made construct at the end of the day when it comes to the machines that supposedly tell us what time is. You know, it hasn't actually got anything to do with the scientific idea of what time is. You understand what I'm trying to say? Like the Jules Verne kind of idea of time. Kind of. I know what I'm trying to say anyway. So is anybody out there able to explain this? Because that would be very good. Thank you.
23:52. 7 minutes off. And that's within a matter of 6 months. Look at this. 45, 45, 45. Why would I go out of my way to set all these 7 minutes off.
Hola, buenas tardes. You know how I would have known that's not my mom, okay? When a Mexican mom yells at you, there's no love or joy in the voice, okay? When they're trying to get your attention, if she wanted to, she would have come up and found me. If she's yelling at me across the house, I've already fucked up, okay? And that is a fucking battle cry. It is thousands of your ancestors yelling at you, you fucked up, pendejo, run, get out of here, okay? So by the time you get to that point, it's already game over. But anyway, representative Latinos against spooky shit. You're at the top of the stairs. You fucked up. This thing's between you and your way out. My recommendation, be like, hey, I'm gonna be right down. Give me a second, okay? I gotta go get some real quick. Go upstairs. Find all the Vicks you can find. Stop. Rewind it. Not a lot of the Vicks you can find. All of the Vicks you can find, okay? Lather yourself up like you're in a Mr. Olympia competition, okay? You're gonna take a mazapan, crumble that up, sprinkle some on yourself, some tajin, throw that on, Epsom salt, throw that on, some fabuloso, just...
Some people aren't even trying anymore. I've got nothing to say about this. On to the next one. Does anybody remember the last time we showed a little guy like this that you're about to see? And can anybody remember what I said? I can never remember anything I say, let's be honest. You know, I just come out with stuff and you either laugh, take me seriously, or agree with me, disagree with me. I don't understand, you know. A lot of the time when I see this stuff, I'm kind of seeing it the first time. So, yeah, okay, but this is about this fire-breathing lizard. I seem to recall this. Let's take a look. I mean, that's cool as hell, right? I mean, that's cool as hell. I mean, that's just cool as hell. I'm not sure if this is AI or if this is real. Once again, have we got any biologists or, you know, anybody, any naturists? Naturists! Yeah, I don't want nude people, that's okay. I meant, you know, people who understand about nature, not naturists. I know it's a beach. I understand it's a beach. I don't want naturists. Thank you. But that would be very cool. You'd want that as a little pet, wouldn't you? Every time you went out camping, man, that guy would come in useful. We've all seen videos of young children saying things that make you pause, things that are hard to explain. And this clip is one of those moments. A little girl no older than 3 is visibly upset. Tears stream down her face as she cries. Her mother gently asks what's wrong, and the child's words stop you in your tracks. She says she wants to go back to her family on the pink planet. Her emotion is raw, genuine. You can feel that this is not a casual story she's making up. This touches on a concept that's been circulating in spiritual communities for decades: starseed children. The belief is that certain souls are reincarnated from other worlds or dimensions taking human form, and the youngest amongst us, before the world conditions them, may still carry fragments of memory from where they came from. There are countless reports of children under 5 speaking about previous lives with remarkable detail, things they couldn't have learned from anywhere around them. Stories that defy conventional explanations, yet feel authentic in their delivery. So what's happening here? Is this just the imagination of a very young child, vivid and creative, or is she recalling something that's real, something her soul remembers? And if it is real, what does that suggest about where we all come from and the mysteries of the universe that might lie just beyond our understanding?
I don't want to be on the kidney on my Stanley blue side. I want to be on my Stanley pink side.
Oh, they're pink on your planet? Oh, okay.
I want to go back to my planet.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. If this is true, then quite frankly, Lord help us. Now, if I had a business and there was a lot of negative press and conspiracy around it, well, I'd come out and set things straight. I'm not 100% sure why McDonald's hasn't done this, but let's take a look at this.
Files, there was some things said about McDonald's, bro.
About McDonald's?
And it's really, really disturbing. So Jeffrey Epstein was writing an email explaining how they tricked the into eating human flesh. So theory is, this is gross. The meat that's in...
No.
So McDonald's has ties to hospital. You know that, right?
Yeah.
Ronald McDonald Hospital. Where's the farms?
That's a good question.
So they did the math. The amount of burgers that McDonald's produces, there's not enough cows. So where does it come from?
Process lab or something?
No.
Yeah,
I just got it.
If they have like connects to a hospital.
Oh my gosh, I just caught it.
Yeah, but obviously this is just all alleged.
Wait.
But it's in the Epstein
That
files.
was in the files? No, I can't eat McDonald's. I can't eat McDonald's.
It's been a long time since I've eaten a McDonald's burger. Now this has just given me one other reason to never eat one ever again. Who believes this? We're getting stories out there right now about people involved with Epstein who are eating babies and doing all sorts of strange shit. And you know what? None of it would surprise me. I'm not saying it's true. I'm saying none of it would surprise me. So quite frankly, this wouldn't surprise me either. These bastards are sociopaths and evil. None of this would surprise me.
So McDonald's has ties to hospital. You know that, right?
Yeah.
Ronald McDonald Hospital.
Yeah.
Where's the farms?
That's a good question.
So they did the math. The amount of burgers that McDonald's produces, there's not enough cows. So where does it come from?
Process lab or something?
No.
Yeah,
I just got it.
Now, before we watch this next clip, you're probably gonna want to have me committed by saying this, all right? But I do believe that we have giants living amongst us. Possibly Nephilim, possibly living in cages, caves, not cages. There's been too much evidence to suggest otherwise. But this...
But now that I know, this totally look like big toes sticking out.
Come on.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
Honey, you're
Come
welcome.
on.
Really look at the size of that. Can you guys, okay, low key, high key, I feel like we are living in a graveyard of giants. I fully believe that those mountains that we see are petrified giants. The ones that literally look like faces. Like it's undeniable that they look like faces. Now that begs the question. I want to know what you guys think. Do you guys think that pink Himalayan salt is the flesh of giants and that's why they're pushing it so much? I know that sounds so crazy, like tinfoil hat theory.
No, pink Himalayan salt is pink Himalayan salt. I mean, what the hell are you gonna say next? That the sea foam that comes off the water is like giant ejaculate? Huh? Like giant shampoo?
But now that I know, this totally look like big toes sticking out of the grass.
Big toe.
Yeah. Honey, you're walking on.
A woman went to the supermarket to pick up an organic whole chicken, only to notice something on the skin that immediately caught her attention. At first glance, it looked like chicken skin, but the pattern covering it is anything but ordinary. Structured, almost geometric, repeating across the surface in a way that doesn't resemble what natural chicken skin should look like. Now, it's true that organic chicken skin can sometimes have unusual markings, the way the bird was raised, what it's fed on, and even pressure from packaging can leave odd shapes or textures. Bruising, feather follicle patterns, or handling marks can all create surprises, but this feels deliberate, too precise, too consistent to be a natural quirk. And that taps into a broader concern that's been growing in food communities for years, the rise of lab-grown and highly processed meat products entering the mainstream supply. Questions about what's actually in our food, how it's made, and whether consumers are being told the full story are no longer fringe ideas, they're becoming mainstream discussions. So the question lingers. Is this just an unusually patented organic chicken, or could it be something else entirely, a 3D printed version of what we think we know as food? So what do you think this really is? Well, March the 15th, 2026, something unusual unfolded over Irving, Texas, and 3 separate witnesses happened to capture it all on camera that same night. When you line the footage up side by side, it becomes very hard to settle on a simple explanation. In the first 2 videos, you hear it before you see it. Loud, repeated booms echo through the night sky. But when you look, there's nothing. No aircraft, no storm clouds, just the sound rolling over the city again and again. Then in the 3rd video, with the very same moments the booms are heard, flashes of light appear in the sky. Not lightning, not fireworks, not anything that seems ordinary. The light is brief, subtle, but unmistakable. Because 3 different witnesses captured it from the same area, it rules out simple misinterpretation. This wasn't a trick of the eye or one person imagining sounds in the dark. Explanations offered range from atmospheric pressure anomalies to military testing, or for some, completely unexplained aerial phenomena. Others suggested fireworks or a light show, but according to records, nothing was scheduled that night. This was not the first time Texas has been a hot spot for strange booms and mysterious lights. Over the past few years, similar events have appeared, and authorities have repeatedly failed to provide answers that satisfy the public. So if you were in Irving on March the 15th and felt the ground shake with those echoes, well, what could it have felt like standing right under it? Hollywood is no stranger to strange stories, and few conspiracy theories have stuck around as long or sparked as much debate as the idea that certain powerful celebrities might not be fully human. Most people laugh it off until a story like this comes along. A man recalls an experience from his childhood. He'd been invited onto Ellen, one of the many children featured on the show that's gone viral online. After filming, he was taken to his own dressing room, but Ellen's door had been left open. And what he saw is not something a child would invent. According to him, Ellen was preparing to eat a whole rotisserie chicken, but before taking a single bite, she allegedly dislocated a jaw, stretching it inhumanly wide, and swallowed the entire chicken in one motion. She then turned the open door, looked directly at him, and hissed. The boy ran to his mother, who dismissed it as the imagination of a child. Over the years, Ellen has faced numerous allegations, and beyond the more fantastical reptilian claims, documented accounts of her off-camera behavior often don't match the persona she presented publicly for decades. So what do we make of this? Could this story be true, revealing something genuinely unearthly? Or was it the vivid imagination of a child interpreting something bizarre through youthful eyes? Now, this photograph was taken back in the 1990s, and the person who owns it has carried questions about it ever since. At first glance, it looks ordinary enough, a young boy posing with his dog. But look closer at the right side of the frame and something else appears, something that was never intentionally placed there. It takes the shape of a cloudy, semi-transparent figure. Study it long enough and it starts to resemble an older person standing just off to the side, staring directly at the camera. Well, the young boy in the photo is now fully grown, and he believes that what appeared beside him that day was a familiar spirit, an entity that attached itself to him specifically. The idea of familiar spirits is ancient, appearing in dozens of cultures and religious traditions worldwide. They're said to bond with a particular person, following them through life. What makes this image even more unsettling is the way the figure seems to be looking at the boy. There's a sense of longing in its gaze, a presence that feels alive, watching. So what do you think it is? Back in March 2025, a man posted on 4chan claiming he'd found something in his backyard. The post quickly made its way to Reddit before being deleted, and no one has ever been able to give a clear explanation as to why. The deletion itself is notable because content doesn't disappear from Reddit without someone deciding it shouldn't be seen. In the photos, the object sitting in his backyard does not look like any conventional aircraft. It's dark in color, not the silver or aluminium finish we usually associate with military or commercial aviation. Its shape is unusual, more angular and compact than the classic disc shape we often see in UFO imagery. But the detail that drew most attention is one particular photo showing what appears to be a broken window on the craft. Researchers who studied the images suggest that if this object was some kind of aerial vehicle, the damage to the window is consistent with it having been shot down. And that detail changes everything. A craft that has been shot down implies a craft that was being monitored, tracked, and engaged by someone with the capability to bring it down. So the question is not just what landed in this man's backyard. The question is, who shot it down? And why has no one officially acknowledged it? Now, with all the health challenges and complications out there, this is interesting. If it helps keep you safe, then it's worth sharing. Let's take a look.
I told you to throw out your microwave, so how do you reheat your food without turning on your whole entire kitchen? Let me show you an old school hack from my gramita. Here's what you do. You take the lid off the mason jar, remove the flat part, keep just the metal ring. Put that ring in the middle of the pan, add just enough water to cover the bottom of the pan, about a half inch, then you put your plate on top, right on that ring. Cover the pan with the lid, turn the heat on to medium-low, and let the steam do the work. Your food reheats evenly. No hot spots, no cold centers, no nutrient destruction, and no toxic microwave radiation breaking down the molecular structure of your food. It's so simple. Remember, microwaves heat food by agitating water molecules at an extreme frequency. This doesn't just heat your food, it damages the nutritional integrity. This is how people did it before we decided convenience was more important than health. And you know what? It takes the same amount of time as a microwave. 5 minutes.
Why have I never thought of that? I mean, I'm not a big microwave guy at the best of times, but I even being in a situation where you want to stick vegetables or stuff actually directly into the water to cook, this would be a better way to do it. Man, I'm doing this. I don't know about you, but I'm doing this.
Remember, microwaves heat food by agitating water molecules at an extreme frequency. This doesn't just heat your food, it damages the nutritional integrity.
Dolls can be pretty scary when they pull a Chucky on you, but this footage right here is a whole new level. In the footage, there is a pale-headed doll with messy hair. This doll already looks scary, but the rest of its body makes the whole scene very haunting. Its body is made of wood, like the recliner of a wooden chair, and it moves. There is a man even holding the wooden hand as the doll walks. I don't know about you, but everyone I've shown this to has found it very scary. After a lot of digging around, we found out that this was actually made by someone. We can't say who, but I don't think this is the type of doll I would buy and take home with me. What about you? Now, what do we have here? Is it a tree shaped like a person lying face upwards on the ground? I don't know about you, but this looks very disturbing to me. Now, trees are known for their adaptability, but this one takes the cake. In certain cultures, you'd find beliefs that tie into the idea of people turning into trees. It's almost like a punishment for their wrongdoings. Looking at this, I'm tempted to believe that those beliefs are not merely myths after all. Imagine a person was transformed into this tree as a form of cosmic justice. You know what? Don't. I can't imagine someone going through that. What's more, it might just be an odd tree formation. Perhaps I'm reading more meaning into it than I ought to. A couple went hiking up Klingman Dome while making their way along a woodland path when they noticed something unsettling. It was a creature standing in the trees watching them. Despite feeling uneasy, they decided to keep moving. But the creature did not stay hidden. It seemed to follow them from a distance, silently trailing them through the woods. And then finally it stepped out from behind the trees, revealing itself fully. That's when the couple snapped this photo. What they captured was astonishing. It was an 8-foot-tall figure that looked unmistakably like Bigfoot. They were in complete shock, frozen in disbelief by the sight of the massive creature. They later shared this to the paranormal platforms they were a part of, stating they might have encountered Bigfoot. What do you guys think? In this clip, an anonymous man shared a very curious sighting online. He managed to capture something strange in the sky. It was an object with a bizarre shape. According to him, the object was roughly the size of a car, but he couldn't quite figure out what it was. The footage shows this unidentified object hovering in the sky, almost as if he doesn't belong there. And people are buzzing about it, with many speculating that it could be a UFO. What say you? High above the vast Polish skies, an enigma unfolded as keen eyes aboard a flight beheld a peculiar sight. You see it, don't you? A mysterious vertical object defying earthly norms. The upper section loomed larger while its lower counterpart held an intriguing diminutiveness. Now, we're no experts, but conventional human craft rarely boasts such perplexing features. Could it be a lost satellite, a secretive government drone, or perhaps the intergalactic equivalent of a cosmic tourist? While on a boat ride, a shark came sniffing around the boat. Now, I'm no marine biologist, but this shark seemed more like your nosy neighbor than a hungry predator. The person on the boat stays still while filming the dangerous creature. It swarmed around the boat, and at a point it attempted to bite at it, but thankfully gave up. Watching this, I couldn't help but wonder if the shark was either in need of a snack or perhaps had mistaken the boat for something else entirely. The shark eventually moved on, leaving the observer to ponder the unpredictability of these creatures. Maybe it was just an off day for the shark, or perhaps it had different plans than being a fearsome predator. Nature's surprising, isn't she? Thankfully, this surprise was the pleasant kind. Next, we've got this footage that was shared by a man claiming he'd captured a Bigfoot in the woods and brought it home. In the video, you can see the creature bound by its hands and legs lying motionless. At first glance, it appears lifeless, and you'd think it was dead. But then, unexpectedly, the creature opens its eyes. It's a startling moment, and it looks directly into the camera. He was showing this off as his trophy, and just like the previous clip, not many are buying it. So what do you think? Is this genuine evidence of a Bigfoot, or could it be something else entirely? Here we have another strange case that some are calling a matrix glitch. A woman was parked in a lot when she noticed something really bizarre. There were 3 identical cars parked near her. One was in front and the other 2 were on either side. The cars were the same make, model, and even the same color. Now here's the really strange part. Although it's not visible in the footage, the woman claimed that all 3 cars had the same license plate number. That's just too weird to be a coincidence. What do you think is going on here? A glitch in the Matrix or something else entirely? We got a snapshot sent in by a subscriber from Greenwich, Connecticut. It's a close-up of a flower they stumbled upon in their neighborhood. Now take a look at this beauty. Vibrant petals, intricate details, it's a slice of nature right there. Makes you appreciate the little wonders you can find just around the corner. Any thought on what type of flower this might be? It looks like a burst of color in their everyday surroundings. If you love black cats, I'm certain this security footage will have you thinking twice about them. Follow the black cat closely. It appears from the other side of the road and walks nonchalantly. People are walking by, but no one seems to pay attention to it. It passes through the space in the rails and walks to the corner of the building where there is what looks like rubbish on the ground. The cat lingers by the rubbish until suddenly the debris catches fire, seemingly by some mystical force. Without any apparent concern, the feline then nonchalantly walks away, leaving behind the mysterious incident. Did this cat just magically set things ablaze? Some cultures think black cats are evil. While I have never understood and accepted that way of thinking, clips like this make me think that perhaps I might be wrong. What do you think? The brain is an incredibly vital part of the body, and it's difficult to fathom a person being able to function without one. However, there exists a remarkable case that challenges this notion. A recent head scan of a French government worker displayed a significant reduction in brain matter, with about 90% of his cranial cavity filled with cerebrospinal fluid. Despite this, the individual had an IQ of 75, prompting the question of how he could function with such a drastic reduction in brain tissue. It was revealed that the man had experienced hydrocephalus as a child, a condition in which the cerebrospinal fluid accumulates in the brain. This fluid buildup compressed the brain tissue against the skull, leading to the loss of much of his brain matter over time. To treat this condition, a procedure was performed to divert the excess fluid, typically involving a shunt that drains the fluid to another part of the body, such as the heart or abdomen. Remarkably, despite the significant loss of brain matter, his body managed to function effectively. He went on to marry, have children, and work as a civil servant. This case serves as a truly fascinating example of the brain's plasticity and the body's ability to adapt and compensate for extreme medical conditions. Now, what do we have here? Another bizarre and intriguing sight. A man with feet where his hands should be and hands where his feet should be. At first glance, it seems his limbs have been switched, with toes where fingers should be and vice versa. But if you look a bit closer, it becomes clear that this image has been altered, perhaps with Photoshop or something. The way the limbs blend, the awkward positioning, and the overall weird look, this isn't real. It's a clever digital trick. Our digital tools today have become so advanced that they create incredibly realistic images and animations. Artists and filmmakers use these tools to create fantastical creatures and alter appearances in ways that wouldn't be possible in real life. In this case, the man with swapped limbs is probably a creative project meant to surprise. What did you think when you first saw it? The concern about air pollution is reaching a critical point, and this footage is quite an eye-opener. They're labeling it a toxic cloud, and looking at it, you can't help but be alarmed. These brownish clouds hanging in the air are more than just thicker versions of your typical clouds. Now, the term toxic cloud usually rings an alarm bell for accidental releases of hazardous material, industrial mishaps, or full-on environmental disasters. It's not just a visual problem, but there are real health risks associated with breathing in this murky concoction. We're talking respiratory problems, irritated eyes and skin, a whole menu of health issues depending on what pollutants are in the mix. The fact that people are out there inadvertently inhaling this mess is definitely a cause for concern. It's not just wrong, it's a serious issue that needs attention. Let's delve into another mysterious incident. In a misty forest, someone captured a mysterious scene. While the creature is mostly hidden, we can still make out a silhouette. It appears to belong to a massive creature with wings surrounded by thick fog. What do you think this could be? I'm no avian expert, but I don't think there are many birds, or any birds for that matter, that look like this. Some who saw the footage, however, insist it's just a large bird. There is a small sect of individuals who believe we could be dealing with a dragon here. Dragons are mythical creatures, but if a cat can light a fire, then why can't we have a dragon out there? What do you guys also think this could be? Drop your suggestions in the comment section below. In this next footage, a man captured a strange creature emerging from the corner of his building. He was woken up in the middle of the night by strange noises, and not thinking that this could be dangerous, he just went out to take a look, and that's when this thing appeared from the side of the building. It was a pale, eerie creature with contorted limbs resembling a twisted version of a human. Its jagged fingers added to the unsettling sight. With such an otherworldly sight, the man hurriedly retreated in fear. What could that be? Was it a supernatural entity, a product of mutation, or something else entirely? Next, we've got this. Yes, I did use the word this because I'm not exactly sure what we're looking at. It looks like a hybrid between a chihuahua, a child, and some sinister being. At first glance, the whole team thought it might be a chihuahua hiding in the bushes, but after several glances, it became evident that this was something much more. Can you guess what the team settled on? Well, it's not hard. Go on, guess. If you thought or said alien, you're right. Most of the team concluded that this had to be an alien. Aaron, our skinwalker specialist, believes this might be a skinwalker. I get where he's coming from. After all, skinwalkers like to turn into canines. I get it, but can we really accept this as a skinwalker? Well, we can't seem to reach an agreement, but perhaps your insight might help. What do you guys think this is? Let us know in the comments. While surfing on the ocean, a surfer came across these strange creatures in the water. They were different in the water. What could these be? While some lean toward a mundane interpretation, attributing them to mere debris adrift in the sea, others with a discerning eye draw parallels to the intricate patterns of a South American sea nettle. South American sea nettles are a species of jellyfish found in the waters of the South Atlantic Ocean, particularly off the coast of South America. They're known for their distinctive bell shape and long trailing tentacles which can deliver a sting. What do you think? Jellyfish, debris, or something else? While walking through the woods, someone came across a strange tiny creature lying on the floor. Not knowing what it was, they took a picture and shared it online. Now check it out for yourself. It looks like a seed germinating, but here's the interesting part. It has what seems like a big head and a small face, and you can even make out what looks like a body with tiny arms and legs. Quite the curious creature, wouldn't you agree? Some of my team members argue that the creature looks like an extraterrestrial due to its alien-like appearance. What do you think, though? Could this truly be a resident from another world? Share your thoughts with us in the comments section.
Yo, this is crazy. So this is April, 14th?
Take a look at this footage from 2023, shared by a resident in Oklahoma. It starts with this strange object hovering in the sky above his house. At first glance, you might think it's something falling from space, but there is no fire, just a bright, tiny orb surrounded by a cloud of white smoke, leaving a smoky trail behind it. As you watch, the smoke begins to spread and slowly dissipates, leaving the shiny orb still floating in the sky. It just hovers there for a while, but then something even stranger happens. The orb starts emitting more of that white smoke, almost as if it's pulsing out of the object. And during this entire eerie spectacle, you can hear the sound of sirens going off in the background, adding to the tension. What could possibly be going on here? A meteor? Space debris? Or could it be something more mysterious, maybe even otherworldly?
Yo, this is crazy. So this is April, what, 14th?
No, I don't like you people to use chemicals. We use natural food.
Yeah.
Which heals. Can I tell you?
Yeah.
This is produced by chemicals.
It is. It's very true.
You are putting chemicals in your body. When you say it, you don't care what will happen. You are saying, I'm wearing a good shirt.
Yeah.
Without, that's a problem. That you are practicing witchcraft on your body yourself with your mind. So people don't think about that.
We mostly worry about what we put into our bodies, questioning the safety of the food we eat and the chemicals used in its production. But how often do we stop to consider the clothes we wear? This man visited a remote village in Africa and interviewed one of the elders. The man wore clothing made from gazelle skin. As he talked, the elder shared a thought-provoking perspective. He stated that our clothes today are often manufactured using synthetic fibers and treated with a cocktail of chemicals from dyes to preservatives. These chemicals, in turn, come into direct contact with our skin daily. When you think about it, you realize that just as we worry about the toxins we consume through food, it's worth considering what we absorb through our skin when we wear chemically treated fabrics. But do tell me, do you think our clothing is harming us in ways we haven't even considered? Let me know your thoughts in the comments section.
This is produced by chemicals.
It is. It's very true.
You are putting chemicals in your body. When you say it, you don't care what will happen. You are saying, I'm wearing a good shirt.
Yeah.
Without, that's a problem. That you are practicing witchcraft on your body yourself with your mind. So people don't think about that.
A man sees a strange beam of light coming from the sky as he is driving. The beam is this vibrant shade of green, and even the point in the sky where it originates is bathed in that mysterious glow. What could this be? Some ponder if it's a clandestine government experiment hidden away from prying eyes. Others go full sci-fi, speculating about an alien base camp, maybe for some intergalactic chat sessions. The secrecy surrounding the sighting location only fuels the flames of suspicion. Is it a deliberate effort to conceal the truth, or perhaps a precautionary measure to prevent undue panic? What do you think this is, though? Share your theories and thoughts in the comments section. Do you believe in mermaids? Depending on your answer, I'd say today is your lucky day. Check out this footage from a beach where something unusual was spotted on a rock in the middle of the ocean. The creature had an unmistakable fishtail, but as it moved, a human-like upper torso with long black hair and arms became apparent. The mysterious being then dove into the water, leaving behind a trail of questions. Could that have been a real mermaid, or was it just a hoax? There are various depictions of these fishy creatures, and some fossils of creatures suspected to be them exist. However, there has not been an official declaration that these creatures do exist. Despite that, there are new sightings almost every day somewhere on the planet. Having seen the footage, what do you think it might be? Moving on, we have this chilling image taken by a man who decided to explore an abandoned building one night. Venturing out alone, he got closer to the eerie structure when something caught his eye. It was a creature crouched on the ground in front of the building. According to the man, the creature ran off as soon as it noticed him, but not before he managed to snap this photo. I've looked at it several times and I'm not able to confidently make out what it might be. You see it on your screens too. What do you think we're dealing with? A hunter was out in the woods tracking deer when he suddenly saw something strange walking just meters away from him. Completely stunned by the sight, he quickly gathered his composure and managed to take this picture. The creature, estimated to be 8 feet tall or even more, casually strolled by. take a good look. Most people are convinced it's Bigfoot. Naturally, with all the recent Bigfoot clips, everyone's wondering if this is the real deal. A group of friends were out for drinks when they noticed one friend getting a bit too drunk. Amused by her laughter, they decided to film her antics for some later laughs. Little did they know things were about to take a chilling turn. As they captured her laughter on camera, the woman suddenly froze, sending a wave of concern through her friends. They called out to her, but she remained unresponsive for a while until she eventually snapped out of it. You can see how confused she was when she came back. Her friends later asked her what had happened, and she was shy about behaving that way, and her response would shock you. She said she felt like she was possessed. However, some netizens believe that this is a typical situation of a glitch in the Matrix. Some skeptics, on the other hand, say it was a neurological episode. It's quite a bizarre and unsettling moment, leaving everyone involved shaken by the unexpected and eerie incident.
Rinka!
If you haven't already hit the like button, subscribed, or even dropped a comment so far, could you please do so now? It goes a long way to help us make more of these videos for you. Thank you so much. Now back to today's episode. Take a look at this girl. She has a lot of piercings in her mouth and braces. Her mouth almost looks like metal. How does she even eat? Just look at how the bands and contraptions look in her mouth. Doesn't it look scary? Are there plausible explanations? Do any of you know what's going on? Please do share. Just a quick reminder before the next clip comes, if you still haven't liked, commented, or subscribed, could you do so right now? You wouldn't want me to send a dragon after you now, would you? If that made you throw your phone away, I'm sorry. I'm not saying that's what happened to me the first time I watched the clip without warning, but if that happened to you, you're not alone. This was uploaded by a guy who states that he was attacked by aliens on the way out of his apartment one day. I can't imagine what it would feel like to be attacked by aliens, but I can positively state that it's not an experience I would be looking forward to. As always, we delved in to make sure the clip was not doctored. Our in-house video editor scrutinized the clip and realized there was nothing wrong with it. But Julius, our science guy, wanted to have a look, so we mailed it to him, and he thought the clip was fake. He states that although it's convincing due to the sudden attack, he looked at the creature's attack and realized that aside from the hands moving, its upper body was unusually stiff. He looked at the clip a few more times and believed it had to be a puppet or a bad pranking costume. What's your take? I've seen things, I really have. In this line of work, however, there's always going to be something beyond what you've experienced. That, for me, is this first clip.
It's very eerie standing in a spot where somebody has perished. This is an old 1883, I think it said? 1807? I don't remember. And I have to see that literally somebody died in here. There is a body. Well, they're probably not anymore, but
it's bones.
A body in the bottom. Look,
no, I'm sure they probably.
Can't even see the bottom. Here. Actually, it shows up pretty good on camera here. There is something at the bottom of that freaking well.
You know how it feels to own one of those houses from the 18th or 19th centuries. It gives you this feeling of accomplishment, connection, and what have you. Sometimes, however, it leaves you with an eerie feeling. These individuals have been enjoying their home until they discovered this well, which had a dead body in it. I don't know how I would feel about discovering a dead body in a well on my property. Fortunately for them, it didn't appear to be a recent death and seems to have occurred centuries ago. There's one disturbing thing, though. Even after the body was moved out of the place, the family still felt there was something or someone down there. It was a feeling they couldn't explain. So a paranormal investigator was invited over, and surely enough, when they looked down, there was a pair of eyes looking back up at them. As expected, this left the family shaken. But the good news, or at least I think it's good news, is that whatever it was, it didn't feel like leaving the well. It only looked up at them from down below. This has led to the conclusion that whatever it is, it's the ghost of a girl who died. With that conclusion in mind, they decided to leave it alone. That sounds plausible, but what if they were seeing something that wasn't the ghost of a girl, but the spirit responsible for her death? Here's a peculiar tale from the animal shelter. So this person strolls in, all set to adopt a furry friend. Normal, right? But hold on, because what they found wasn't your typical doggy pal. Look at this little guy. First glance, he's all cute and cuddly, your usual shelter pup. But there's something off about that face. It's got a certain peculiar twist that makes you wonder, is that a skinwalker in doggy disguise? Now, we're not saying this pup has supernatural secrets, but hey, it does make you do a double take. Who knows, maybe it's just a quirky dog with an unconventional charm. Venturing into a swamp under the cloak of night can be an eerie experience, and one brave soul decides to explore the murky unknown. Little did they anticipate what would unfold in the darkness. Out of nowhere, something emerged from the muddy waters. It was a humanoid creature. The creature wobbled as it got out of the mud with its back turned to the explorer filming. The once brave adventurer hightailed it out of there when it noticed the creature emerging from the water. Not so brave now, after all, huh? But what was that in the mud? Could it be a swamp monster or a skinwalker hiding out in the muddy waters? Skeptics think that it's all a hoax, but these days, you may never know. While in the woods, someone was startled by this strange noise. That didn't sound like any creature we know, and to make matters worse, it sounded like it was coming from a huge creature. The individual who shared this footage believes that it was a Bigfoot. Bigfoot, also known as Sasquatch, you know, that large ape-like creature rumored to live in North American forests. People who claim to have seen Bigfoot say they've heard deep, strange calls similar to the noise you've heard now, which adds some credibility to it. There's also a chance the noise could be human-made. Maybe someone playing a prank or using special equipment to create spooky sounds. What do you think? In this clip, a TikTok user shares his haunting encounter. According to him, there was a strange child in a long furry skirt and a thick jacket and wearing an animal mask that would stand on his compound in front of his house and stare right at the door. He would always see this child through the Ring camera just standing there unmoving. He had no idea who it was or why they were there. One day he mastered the courage and walked up to this child while filming. As you can see, the child stands there unmoved and unshaken in the same strange outfit. This is a very disturbing situation.
You okay? Are you okay?
Is this child simply curious or eccentric, unaware of the discomfort they're causing? Or could there be something more sinister at play, a darker presence hiding behind an innocent facade?
Hello? Seriously, man, you're kind of creeping me out. Where are your parents at? Hello? Hello?
Heading to Medellin, Colombia, our attention is drawn to an unusual sighting in the sky that has left a family perplexed.
Be quiet, Brendan. Don't be annoying. I swear you have to always be annoying.
I hope it's a drone, bro.
A peculiar craft resembling a saucer captured their gaze. What makes this sighting even more intriguing is the presence of a red glowing orb situated beneath the craft. As the video spreads, discussions about the source of this celestial visitor heat up. Some dive into intergalactic mysteries, entertaining the idea that we might not be alone. Others consider the possibility of advanced technologies not yet revealed to the public, gliding through the skies over Medellin. Both of these sound absurd. Given the nature of our world today, I wouldn't rule anything out. What do you think? In China, there's this footage capturing a rather unusual sight. The night sky painted in a deep shade of blood red. I know there are a lot of bizarre ideas and theories running through your mind just from seeing this, but relax. Julius thinks that instead of looking at the paranormal, there could be a more logical reason for what we're seeing. He argues that what we are seeing could be nothing more than the result of the air pollution that China is known for, thanks to it becoming the manufacturing hub of the world's largest corporation. Elevated levels of particulate matter in the air tend to disperse light, particularly during sunrise or sunset, creating an unusual red tint. Yet as we delve into this crimson mystery, the question lingers. Is there more to it than just pollution affecting the light? Is this spectral show solely a result of Earth pollutants, or does it suggest something beyond our current comprehension? Next, we've got this footage from a home security camera set up in the kitchen. In the clip, a woman is busy doing something when out of nowhere, the lower compartment of the fridge starts to open and close on its own. The woman, visibly startled, turns around to face the fridge, and her reaction is priceless. You can tell she's completely freaked out. She doesn't waste any time either. She fast walks right out of the kitchen, clearly not wanting to stick around to see what might happen next. Here's where it gets even weirder. After she leaves, the fridge continues its bizarre behavior, opening and closing all on its own, as if controlled by an invisible force. Most people believe this is ghost activity, but what do you think? Wow, and yes, that's a man lying next to a massive bone. Before you scream giant, it's rumored to be the thigh bone of a titanosaur. This gigantic bone was discovered back in 2013 by a farmer in Argentina. He noticed part of it was sticking out of the ground, and that's when the experts were called in to dig it out. What they unearthed was an 8-foot-tall bone. It's nearly the same height as the man lying beside it, which really puts in a perspective just how colossal these creatures once were. Titanosaurs are believed to have been some of the largest dinosaurs to ever walk the earth, and this bone alone speaks to their sheer size. It's mind-blowing to think that something this enormous was roaming our planet millions of years ago. Mesmerizing, right? So there's this photo, right? A bluish glowing orb, and the story goes that someone's dad snapped the picture. Now, it's not your typical lens glare scenario because it's chilling behind a tree, and beyond that tree, a good old cornfield. Looking at the close-up, it's got you scratching your head. Not your usual camera mishap or a reflection gone wild. This orb seems to have a mind of its own, playing hide-and-seek behind nature's greenery. Any thoughts on what this mysterious glowing sphere could be? It's got the intrigue of a sci-fi plot, but maybe there's a rational explanation waiting to be unveiled. What's your take on this luminous enigma behind the cornfield curtain?
Tanto,
Ahí va. Vamos a ver. Viene arriba de nosotros.
In the tranquil setting of a Mexican evening, an extraordinary event unfolded, captivating the attention of curious bystanders. A glowing orb was seen ascending into the sky. What made this event interesting was how the object acted as it ascended. At first, when the orb moved away from the Earth, it looked bigger and brighter, almost as though the distance made it shine more. As it got closer to the sky, it started getting smaller and its brightness faded into a soft glow, which was expected, but then the unexpected happened. Instead of eventually fading away and disappearing, the orb rather grew bigger. It's strange enough that no one knows what it is or how it came to be. Seeing it behave this way just adds to the mystery surrounding it. What do you think? Could it be an alien, or do you have a more logical explanation? Skinwalkers are known to be one of the trickiest and most elusive creatures in lore. They can shapeshift into any form, whether it be an animal or a person. But they have one flaw. Though they can mimic shapes, they never truly get the transformation perfect. These small imperfections are often subtle and hard to notice unless you're really paying attention. In this case, a woman was out shopping when she encountered something strange. She spotted this dog sitting in a stroller while its owner casually browsed the store. But the dog was staring directly into the camera, unblinking, with wide eyes that seemed unnatural. Now, it's not every day that you hear about a skinwalker being caught on camera, let alone in the form of a pet. But look at those eyes. There's definitely something off. Could this really be a skinwalker in the guise of a dog? Last time I checked, chemicals and processed food items aren't supposed to move on their own. So how is this even possible? To provide context, a woman brought an Oreo and was enjoying it like any other snack. It was all good until she opened one cookie and dropped it almost immediately. It might have looked weird, but she had a good reason. As you can see in the footage, the cream inside the Oreo was wiggling on the counter even after she dropped it. How is this possible? Oreo cream isn't supposed to move like that, right? Is there something about these cookies we don't know? Share your thoughts. Speaking of unfinished business, this footage was taken in the ER. In the clip, a worker at the hospital hears some unusual sounds coming from an empty room in the ER. As they investigate, they stumble upon something quite baffling. The ceiling above one of the beds in the room had unexpectedly opened, and what's more, there was no wind in the room, yet the open ceiling was moving and producing eerie noises. Is it possible that what's happening is the ghostly appearance of a patient who, for reasons we don't understand, is seeking recognition or resolution beyond the boundaries of the living world? It's a well-known fact that a hospital is a place where lots of deaths have happened, so it's not a surprise that strange situations happen there. Night shifts, in particular, have become the backdrop for many stories involving strange events narrated by nurses who have witnessed the unexplained. While strange, this is just one of the many strange occurrences that happen in hospitals around the world. Any health worker here to share an experience? This next clip comes from Argentina, where the clouds had turned pink. Yeah, you heard that right. Pink. Just take a look at this. It's almost like some sort of Disney movie. However, amidst the enchantment, a question arises. What mysterious forces could be at play? Are these really clouds, or could there be something more ominous, like unhealthy fumes lingering in the air? One possibility is pollution. Yeah, the not-so-charming side of human activities. Pollutants in the air can interact with sunlight in strange and beautiful ways, creating vibrant hues. On the flip side, nature has a few tricks too. Wildfires, volcanic activity, or even dust storms can spice things up in the atmosphere, turning a regular sky day into a breathtaking spectacle. So what do you think this could be? Pollution or something else entirely? What would you do if you woke up to something like this? Before you answer, let's talk about the fascinating world of art. Why? Well, the answer is simple. It allows individuals to showcase their creativity in many ways, and one person recently demonstrated this beautifully. They embarked on an art project centered around the theme of heartfelt expression. But I gave my heart to you, and the result was truly captivating. The artwork took the form of an upper torso of a human figure, delicately crafted to hold a heart in its hand. The artist fashioned the figure from sackcloth and positioned it to hang behind his bedroom door. Little did he know the impact this creation would have on the night. After retiring to bed and switching off the lights, the artist was startled to find the figure's eyes glowing in the darkness. It seemed to be fixated on him, casting an eerie and unsettling presence that lingered in the stillness of the night. Despite sharing the evidence to show that it was not something eerie, many think he ought to be careful because during the day the thing has no eyes, but during the night it appears to have eyes that glow. What do you think?
This the spot. Nah, come back out. Look, why they be peeking?
Stepping away from eyes staring from the darkness, what do you know about eyes that stare in the light with bodies you can definitely make out from the darkness? Confused? Well, watch this. You see it, don't you? It looks like a tiny fairy looking at the man recording. For context, he was exploring the woods when he realized he was being watched. He looked around and noticed these tiny beings. For a moment, he thought his eyes were playing tricks on him. Maybe he'd had too much to eat. He then took his camera out to record, and funny enough, the beings were still present on the cam. Not only were they seemingly hiding in the trees, they were also peeking. Were they surprised to see the man, or were they simply surprised he could see them? That's hard to say. Nonetheless, I did some digging around and realized different cultures have records of little people who lived in places where humans wouldn't disturb them. If that's to be believed, then it's safe to say these guys were not happy about meeting this inquisitive human. At least, that's my hypothesis. What's yours?
This the spot. Nah, come back out. Look, why they be peeking like?
All right, hold the phone. So there's this beach footage that's causing a bit of a stir. People are hanging out, enjoying the sand and surf, when suddenly these small mysterious white things start popping out of the beach sand. And here's the kicker. Within seconds, it looks like they've multiplied into hundreds, carpeting the beach floor. Now, the big question is, what on earth could these little things be? It's like a tiny invasion of the sand kind. Are there some undiscovered marine life making a surprise appearance, or could we be dealing with some alien beach creatures? Now, in this next footage, a security camera captures a ghostly apparition roaming in the dead of night. The entity had a human form, a head, arms, legs, everything. However, it wasn't tangible like a human. It looked like white smoke taking the form of a human. I know, the whole thing is quite strange. It has a posture like that of an elderly person. It moves with slow, haunting steps bent at the waist. Despite its appearance, we have to wonder, is this spectral figure on a haunting mission, or does it harbor unfinished business that ties it to the realms of the living? Late-night rides are very thrilling and calming, but then they say the devil always comes out to play in the night. In the quiet of the night, a group of friends set out on a late drive, seeking the tranquil atmosphere that comes with the night. But their expectations are shattered when they encounter something chilling along the road. In the dim light, they spot a figure dressed in a blood-red robe standing by the roadside. Its presence just gives you this haunting feeling. The friends who saw this just sped out of there in fear. But what was that figure? Was it a ghost, a spirit, or something more sinister? You tell me. What's going on here? This man can be seen striking what looks like a fish-like creature with a metal, but instead of cutting through, there are sparks of fire. The intense sparks suggest a strong interaction between the man's tool and the creature's metallic coating, but the true story behind this encounter remains a puzzle, leaving us wonder about the creature's true origin and purpose. Could it be a living being with a strange metal coating, or something a bit more extraterrestrial? We'd like to hear your thoughts on this one. If you have proof that this is a carefully crafted hoax, please don't hesitate to share. Beyond man's desire to conquer the cosmos, one thing man desires to conquer is life itself. Yes, we humans wish we could live forever, and there might be a solution on the horizon. How, you ask? Well, through cryopreservation. For those hearing it for the first time, cryopreservation is a technique used to preserve biological materials such as cells, tissues, organs, and even entire organisms by cooling them to extremely low temperatures, typically minus 196 degrees Celsius, using liquid nitrogen. At such temperatures, cellular metabolism and biomechanical reactions almost completely stop, preventing decay and damage over time. As simple as that sounds, it's a complex process that's yet to be perfected. The company, however, believes they're almost there and give their clients the opportunity to preserve their pets as well. Beyond preserving your body, they'll also create AI versions of you to interact with your family while you're in a deep freeze, so you can easily catch up when you're finally up. While this sounds exciting, it does create problems. There's a likelihood of this being exploited by the rich and powerful, or they being exploited. Also, preserving our pets sounds nice, but how do we know they would want this? Residents of Mentor, Ohio are on edge that something supernatural is lurking in their neighborhood. And honestly, after seeing this footage, you can't blame them. Multiple surveillance cameras from different homes caught the same eerie sight. It's a white figure running at an unnatural speed through the streets. At first, people assumed it was an intruder, maybe even a lost child, so they called the police to investigate. But when the police arrived, they too witnessed something darting past, yet their dashcam captured nothing. No trace, no evidence, just a fleeting, ghostly blur. Now, with no explanation, the entire town is convinced that this is a spirit. And if you're thinking it's the Flash, I just confirmed he's only a movie character. Anyway, you've seen it, so what do you also think? While you try to decode that, you might want to take a good look at this one. A man was exploring the great outdoors when he came across what's on your screen. Not sure what he was looking at, he was stunned and stopped in his tracks. As he tried to make out what it was, it suddenly yanked or suddenly moved one direction and disappeared out of view. If he didn't plan this, and it's no hoax, then he was definitely going to be startled. Well, he swears it's real, so let's go with that. He uploaded it on the paranormal platform seeking answers, but all he got is a lot of doubt and questions. Do you think it's real? If it is, what are we dealing with here? If it's not, how do you think they pulled it off? What you're looking at here is a 30-million-year-old praying mantis perfectly preserved in a piece of amber. This incredible fossil was discovered in the Dominican Republic and has been remarkably well preserved over all those millions of years, allowing us a rare glimpse into a distant past. The amber has essentially frozen this ancient mantis in time, capturing it in such stunning detail. You can still see its delicate body, limbs, and even some of its fine features. It's fascinating to think that this creature lived long before humans ever walked the earth and is now immortalized in amber for us to study and admire. Nature has its own way of preserving its history, and this is just one breathtaking example. Look at this stone structure. It's a massive ancient formation with a perfect line cut straight through it, running all the way down. This thing dates back to centuries ago, but back then, they didn't have the high-tech cutting tools or advanced machinery that we use today. So how in the world did they manage to carve something this precise? Some people believe it's proof of lost ancient technology that had an advanced civilization that existed long before history tells us, while others think it could be done by hand with simple tools. The ancient world has always fascinated me, but this is one thing I'll need your thoughts on. A man stumbled upon this restricted-looking area filled with saucer-shaped objects, and honestly, it looks like a UFO garage. I mean, just look at them. They have that classic flying saucer shape, sleek and metallic. Could they just be industrial machines, maybe movie props? Sure, but then again, who's to say this isn't some kind of UFO parking station hidden in plain sight? The real question is, who owns this place and why is it so secretive? A hiker was out exploring the mountains when he stumbled upon something extraordinary. As he climbed higher into the highlands, he noticed a large creature perched on a massive rock. The creature had thick white fur and was sitting upright, almost human-like in posture. From its size and proportions, this was no ordinary animal. Its massive frame and humanoid shape resembled a Bigfoot. The sighting has stirred up quite a bit of speculation. Could this be an extremely rare version of the elusive Bigfoot, an albino variant? Many people have shared their theories, but no one has come up with a definitive explanation. What do you think? Possession. Most people see it as people getting taken over by some sort of entity or spirit. But is that really the case? Well, let's take a look at this footage. In the clip, a young man is seen writhing in a dirty gutter, his body thrashing wildly. No one knows what led to this moment or why he suddenly lost control. 1 minute, he was fine, and the next, he was flailing uncontrollably, eventually ending up in the gutter. The behavior is erratic and his movements seem unnatural, fueling the belief that this could be a case of demonic possession or spiritual influence. But skeptics say it could have been a medical condition or even a psychological break that caused his actions. What are your thoughts? What you're looking at isn't AI-manipulated footage, it's a robot slime. Yeah, you heard that right. A shape-shifting, self-healing, and controllable slime that behaves like something straight out of a sci-fi movie. This bizarre creation has viscosity, allowing it to flow, stretch, and squeeze into spaces that rigid robots could never reach. Even more impressively, it can reattach itself when split apart. Scientists believe it could revolutionize medical procedures, helping deliver drugs inside the body or repair hard-to-reach areas. And that's just the beginning. Its potential applications could go far beyond medicine. It's equal parts fascinating and unsettling. A robotic slime slithering around with a mind of its own, that's the kind of thing that sparks both excitement and a little unease. What do you think? Is this a breakthrough in robotics, or does it just creep you out? Some tourists were out on a night cruise in the Bahamas when they spotted something strange in the sky. It was a glowing object. At first, they thought it was just a firework, but something was off. It wasn't exploding like a firework should. It also wasn't a plane. Watch closely. The object seems to change shape, right? By now, we've all heard about plasmoids. They're mysterious glowing orbs that have been spotted around the world. Some believe they're just natural atmospheric phenomena, while others think they're entities. So, is this just another strange light in the sky, or something else? Scientific advancements continue to pave the way for innovative inventions that are rapidly becoming integral parts of our reality. One such groundbreaking invention is the infrared vein finder, a remarkable medical intervention that revolutionizes the process of locating veins in the human body. This cutting-edge device operates by emitting specific wavelength lights that are absorbed by the blood, effectively causing the veins to become visible under the skin. As demonstrated in the accompanying footage, the veins appear as glowing lines on the skin's surface when the infrared light is projected, eliminating the need for invasive and often uncomfortable methods of locating veins. It represents a remarkable advancement in medical technology and has the potential to improve patient care and comfort. What are your thoughts on these remarkable advancements in medical technology? Do we need to slow down, or do we need to move even faster? Knowing what you know about our planet, would you lay eggs here if you were an alien? I know most of you might say no, but if our next clip is to be believed, then the alien clearly didn't get the memo. Two guys were exploring one of the cold regions of Utah when they came across this. First glance, no one could really tell what this is. So they got closer to the strange pattern in the ice, and one of them touched it. Yeah, touched it. First off, don't go putting your hands in strange and unfamiliar things. Secondly, whatever you do, if it looks bizarre or alien, don't even touch it or get near it. That's not what these guys did, however. They got close and even touched it. After touching it, the one who did stated that it was slimy. As if that wasn't a big enough cue to leave, they stayed around and filmed some more. After they had enough clips, they uploaded it online, and that's when the conspiracies started. Some thought it had to be an alien egg. In fact, this theory was paraded around and accepted by most. Just when it looked like the answer had been found, someone came in and stated that it had to be a hoax. This necessitated us to dig further, and then we discovered the unthinkable. This was actually no alien egg. It was actually an art project by an art student. A disappointing but remarkable piece of info. Kudos to the art student for fooling a whole community. Impressive stuff. Over the years, The Simpsons has gained a reputation for making eerily accurate predictions, some of which have actually come true. Now, let's take a look at one of them. In this episode, Lisa discovers skeletal remains buried underground, but as she brushes off the dust, she realizes that these aren't just human remains, the skeleton has wings. Now here's where things get freaky. In real life, skeletal remains were discovered, and guess what? it had wings too. Some say this is just another wild coincidence, while others believe it's something much more deep. There's a theory that The Simpsons doesn't predict the future, but rather that the world is a stage set by the elites with a carefully controlled script where movies and shows are used to subtly foreshadow their plans. Sounds crazy, I know, but how else can we explain the many coincidences from just one show? Also, do you think the video discovery is real? This image was shared from Atlantic City, New Jersey on January the 30th. It shows a strange blue light in the sky, and when zoomed in, it appears to be a massive glowing blue orb with blurred lines and circular patterns around it. Now the big question, could this be a UAP? It definitely has that eerie otherworldly look to it. Some might argue it's just a lens flare or some atmospheric phenomenon, but that structured shape makes it seem like something more. Next, let's take a look at the impressive arapaima fish, which is large and covered in hard scales that are tougher than steel. The fish, often referred to as the Superman fish, is native to the Amazon. It can reach lengths of up to 15 feet, 4.5 meters, and weigh as much as 485 pounds, 220 kilograms. The arapaima has an elongated body with large, broad scales that are typically dark greenish-black with red markings toward the tail, giving it a distinctive appearance. But that's not all. Let's talk about the scales. These scales, which are extremely tough and more resilient than steel of the same thickness, provide protection to the arapaima from predators and other dangers in the water. Additionally, the arapaima has a primitive lung and needs to surface for air due to living in oxygen-depleted waters in the Amazon basin. The arapaima is a carnivorous species, feeding on fish, crustaceans, and even small land animals that come too close to the water's edge. What would you do when your daughter starts talking to an unseen being at the hospital? While you think about it, take a look at this clip.
Weird. Is it you?
Is it me? It's not me.
It's motion sensor. There's no one over there. Okay, do it one more time.
Do it one more time, please. So, you're a girl? You're a girl! Are you She's a girl!
And just for show, let's see if it comes on right here. Okay. I'm right here. Okay. Nothing. Are you 5? Are you 6? 7?
8?
9? You're 9? You're 9 years old?
This woman and her daughter were in the hospital because she was not well. The faucet all of a sudden turns on as though there was someone there. The mother just thinks the motion sensor isn't working well, but her daughter insists there's a 9-year-old girl. She starts talking to her daughter, but the mother is unable to see anything. The conversation goes on and the unseen being tells them her name while her daughter engages her some more. They leave the room for some scans and return to find the faucet back to normal. It never acts up again and the little girl tells them that the ghost is gone.
That was creepy.
What do you mean creepy?
How did Deepa guess it? Yeah, it is creepy.
It was so freaky that her dad was involved, but on their return, nothing was there. If she was your daughter, what would you have done? Personally, I would have taken her out of the room. I mean, how do we know the spirit didn't attach itself to her or disappear to her home? It would be risky if that were remotely true, but then again, maybe I'm overthinking it. What say you?
What noise, baby?
Oh, it sounds like static. It's like on my phone.
Does it? Can you do a screen recording?
I don't know why it sounds like that.
Now this one is interesting. The footage shows these eerie green lights in the sky with what looks like a laser beam pointing directly down on a building. The first thought that comes to mind, UFO. That's what a lot of people would say, especially with how mysterious and unnatural the scene looks. But then again, we have to consider that this could be some kind of advanced human technology, maybe a research experiment, military testing, or even a high-tech scanning system. Still, something about it feels off. The way the beam is so precise, the glow in the sky, it doesn't exactly scream normal, does it? But what do you think? Here we have some bizarre footage of strange objects in the sky. They appear to be flat and round, almost like discs, and they light up in sequence, creating an eerie, otherworldly display. Now, what exactly are we looking at? Some believe this is just a drone light show, something we've seen more of in recent years as drone technology advances. Others, however, are convinced that this is a possible UFO sighting. But then again, in this age of AI-generated content, can we even trust what we see anymore? I'll let you answer that.
Look at that. 9/27/24.
Still on Bizarre Captures, we travel back in time to the 27th of September of this year when a man captured a video of something truly unusual in the sky. In the clip, you can see a bright circular pattern glowing in the sky. According to the man who filmed it, the strange otherworldly sight resembled some kind of portal. Many in the community shared this perspective and started to debate what could have come or gone through it. While everyone shared their thoughts with excitement, Julius showed up claiming that what we were seeing was nothing more than a sundog. If this is your first time hearing the term, as it was mine when he mentioned it, it's a common atmospheric phenomenon caused by sunlight interacting with ice crystals in the atmosphere. Sundogs typically create bright spots or halos near the sun, which could explain the shape. While this sounds logical and scientific, you must still agree with me that the whole thing just looks otherworldly. Could there be more to this than science has discovered?
Look at that. 9/27/24.
We start today's episode in a theater, and it's not all what you're thinking. Well, if you're thinking something spooky happened, well, then you're right.
There's the ghost light. It's a light we keep on for ghosts, for people who still remain here and whatnot. And, what the f***? What is that?
So the young man you see on your screen was in the theater when he started hearing strange noises. Usually, this is normal in a theater, but not when it's closed and you're supposed to be alone. After enduring the sound for a bit, he decided to step out and investigate. He decided to film the investigation just in case he caught someone breaking in. He explores the theater, shows us the ghost light meant to fish out people who stay after the theater had closed. As he pans the camera, he notices something, but it's not exactly clear. He gets closer to take a better look, and then he sees it. It's some sort of puppet, and it's staring down at him. At least, that's what I thought I saw. Naturally, he freaks out and eventually uploads it onto the internet. While going through the comments of the original post, I realized some said they saw a woman, whereas others saw a kid or a teenager. You guys have seen the clip. What do you also see? But more importantly, do you think this is legit, or do you think he's trying to get his 5 minutes of fame? Kindly share your thoughts in the comments section.
Look, there I am, right there. Look, you see that? You see that? Nah.
A young man was working a shift at a supermarket when strange things started to happen. First, a box dropped to the ground without being interacted with. When that happened, he went on a witch hunt to see if he could find the person or entity responsible. He couldn't explain it, but there was this ominous feeling that had overtaken him. It made him lash out and cuss at whatever it was to come out. No matter what he did, the spirit or being would not show up, but it didn't make its presence known until it pulled his hair. No one told him to run. He had to consult the security cameras to make sure he was not imagining the whole thing, and surely enough, he was not. It actually happened. He uploaded it online seeking answers. While the paranormal community was very interested in finding out what it was, they all kept telling him that you don't cuss out paranormal beings or things you don't understand. They apparently don't like that. Anyway, what do you guys think of this?
Look, there I am, right there. Look, you see that? You see that? Nah.
This man was out riding his ATV through some shallow water when he suddenly noticed something moving ahead of him. At first, he didn't think much of it, but as he got closer, he stopped in his tracks. Now, let's take a look at what he saw. There, crossing the water, was a tall figure covered in brown fur. It moved with long strides, seemingly unbothered by the water. Even the person filming had seen it and was asking the guy what it was. That definitely looks like a Bigfoot right there. But what do you think? Could this really be proof of the legendary creature or just another case of mistaken identity?
What was that?
While on a hike on a mountain, someone captured this. It was just a regular day when someone saw this weird triangular aircraft hovering over a mountain. It was just floating there, spinning around in broad daylight, when all of a sudden a bright beam of light shot out from it and hit the top of the mountain. It's almost as though it were either dropping or picking up something. There are all these crazy conspiracy theories about UFOs and aliens setting up secret bases in far-off secluded places around the world. The way some weird stuff has been coming out lately, you have to wonder if some of these wacky conspiracy stories might actually be onto something. The big question, however, is, did the person actually stumble across an alien hideout up in the mountains in the middle of the day, or was it all just an elaborate hoax meant to get people worked up about little green men? It's hard to know what's really going on. The lines get really blurred between what's legitimate and what's made up nonsense designed to trick us. With so many bizarre unanswered questions out there, who knows what other strange things could be happening right out in the open without us realizing it? Camping alone in the middle of a forest can be a peaceful escape into nature, but it can quickly become unsettling when the quiet is interrupted by something strange. One camper's story highlights this perfectly.
Not sure if you guys ever seen the Blair Witch Project, but damn, this is just giving me Blair Witch Project vibes.
A man went camping alone in the forest. As he was about to retire to bed, he started to hear something and felt this eerie feeling like he was not alone. So he decided to look around to make sure there was no one around. As he was checking, he heard a voice from the darkness. Take a look. Did you hear that? The voice said, "I see you." Despite being afraid, he still moved toward the voice but found no one.
Whew. Okay. That was creepy. I need to get out of here.
After a few minutes, he then began to feel like he was being followed, so out of fear, he decided to go back to his campsite, but he had lost his way. Thankfully, however, he did make it back safely. If you ask me, I'd say that's quite a scary experience. The scary thing is he never found whatever was responsible for the noise even when the day came, which has left him and his community wondering. Was it a creepy person out there trying to give him a scare, or did he encounter an entity out there? I guess that's an answer we may never know for certainty.
This.
Oh, hi. What the hell?
Oh, that's a fairy. I'm recording this with an iPhone. I'm here with my family.
Are fairies real? This is a question we've tried to answer several times on this channel. And today's clip is reminding us that we haven't found a definitive answer. A lady was out with her friends when she noticed this creature moving a few meters from her. She was fast enough to pick up her camera and record the whole thing. Convinced she'd captured a fairy on camera, she uploaded the clip, soliciting the opinions of others. The creature appears whitish and appears to be floating or moving around in this ethereal way you'd typically associate with ghosts. Some who saw the clip have stated that it's probably the younger version of fairies we've seen. Some members of my team, however, are leaning towards it being AI, and you've seen the clip, so what do you think?
It's a fairy. I'm recording this with an iPhone. I'm here with my family on a vacation. Not on a vacation, I'm just here because of my graduation. I just graduated and I'm seeing
This man was saying some very interesting things that honestly shocked me and made me realize just how little we actually know about our own bodies. Take a listen.
Milk actually strips the bone of calcium. You know, they tell us don't look at the sun because it will make us go blind. Sun gazing actually stimulates your pineal gland to open up your third eye so you can move on different dimensions of densities. Everything they ever have told us is a lie.
He talks about how milk doesn't strengthen our bones, instead it actually strips calcium from them. That's the complete opposite of what we've been told all our lives. Then he mentions sun gazing helps to activate the pineal gland, also known as the third eye. But it gets even stranger. He claims that the heart isn't a pump like we've always believed. Instead, it's just a valve, and it's actually our lungs that pump the blood throughout the body. That's completely changing how we understand circulation. And then he talks about hair and how it's not just dead protein, but actually an extension of our nervous system that helps us sense energy around us. That idea has been around for a while, especially in ancient cultures, but modern science never really acknowledges it. All of this goes against what we're taught in school, and it's got the paranormal community talking. Is this young man really telling the truth? Is there more to our bodies than what mainstream science tells us? Please share your thoughts on this one.
They tell you your hair is just hair. No, our hair is non-ether hair. It is actually an extension of your nervous system. It is used to scan the environment, and it brings all of these different melanin neurotransmitters back to your skin to tell you whether to actually engage in the environment or take fight or flight and run away. That's why you get gut feelings. That's why when you see paranormal activities, the hair on your skin stand up. So everything that they ever told us about ourselves is a lie.
See that? There's nobody there. Automation. I work at an automated dock. All these machines right here, there's no people. Hardly any people on this thing. This is what they're fighting about. I work at an automated dock right here, Port of LA, Long Beach. Keep fighting, brothers. Keep fighting.
It's undeniable that technology has greatly enhanced our workforce, making tasks faster, more efficient, and often safer. But let's not forget the other side of this coin. Technology is also replacing jobs, leaving many workers out of work. Take a look at this footage, captured by one of the workers at a port. In the video, you'll notice something striking. There are no humans in sight. Instead, it's just machines fully automated, taking on the tasks that were once done by men and women. This is exactly why port strikes are happening. Workers are being replaced and their livelihoods are at stake. But what happens when the few human roles left at these ports are taken over by machines? Where do those thousands of workers go? What becomes of the people who were sent home as technology continues to advance and take over? This is the harsh reality we are facing, and it's a question worth asking as we move forward into a more automated world.
See that? There's nobody there. Automation. I work at an automated dock. All these machines right here, there's no people. Hardly any people on this thing. This is what they're fighting about. I work at an automated dock right here, Port of LA, Long Beach. Keep fighting, brothers. Keep fighting.
Guys, look at all these Cybertrucks and Teslas. No one's driving that? No one is in that car.
Nobody walked over here. Wait. There's nobody in these. What the heck? That car just sped off. There's no one in it.
How'd you feel about Tesla cars and Cybertrucks? They're quite innovative with their self-driving features, but to be honest, they kind of freak me out sometimes. Take this, for example. A group of people were driving by an alleged abandoned parking lot when they came across something eerie. The entire lot was filled with Teslas and Cybertrucks, and here's the strange part. They were all moving, but no one was inside them. These cars were just rolling around on their own, gliding through the lot as if something was controlling them. What's even more unsettling is that it looked like the cars had been left there, abandoned. Why would an entire lot be full of self-driving vehicles like this, and what could be causing them to move around? Julius has a theory it's a testing site for these vehicles. That sounds logical, but what say you guys?
Guys, look at all these Cybertrucks and Teslas. No one's driving that? No one is in that car.
Nobody walked over here. Wait. There's nobody in these. What the heck? That car just sped off. There's no one in it.
This footage is believed to be a UFO sighting from July 2024. A witness managed to capture what appears to be two jets in pursuit of an unidentified craft. But here's where it gets interesting. When you pay attention, you'll realize that the craft itself is shaped like a donut. Now, this isn't the first time we've seen reports of a donut-shaped UFO. Some believe there are advanced technologies, possibly not of this world, while skeptics argue it could be an unknown military aircraft. But if that were the case, why would military jets be chasing it? Also, what if they weren't chasing, but accompanying it? I mean, would that be so weird after everything we've seen and heard? A man went hiking deep in the woods when suddenly something emerged onto the trail right in front of him. It was about 9 feet, grayish-white, with massive black eyes and long, thin arms. The creature stood there motionless, just staring at him. For a few moments, neither of them moved. Then, just as suddenly as it appeared, the figure turned and ran back into the trees, disappearing into the dense forest. This creature is the classic gray alien. The gray alien is one of the most commonly reported extraterrestrial beings in abduction stories. The large black eyes, the thin body, and the unnatural movements fit the classic description. Now, here's where it gets interesting. This footage wasn't taken recently, it's from the 1990s. Back then, CGI wasn't as advanced as it is today, and AI-generated content wasn't even a thing. So if this was faked, this must have been a really realistic costume and a very slender person. Or maybe not. After all, the clip does look a little blurry and soft. But if this was real, why did it just stand there? Was it observing him, testing his reaction? Or maybe the alien was just as shocked to see a human as the human was to see it.
Come on, boy. Come on.
We've been hearing a lot of news lately about scientists working on bringing extinct creatures back to life, like the woolly mammoth, which may soon be walking the earth again. And while that's, controversial, this next clip I stumbled upon is something truly wild. In this clip, someone is seen feeding a dinosaur. Yes, you heard that right. A Triceratops. Now, these creatures are supposed to have been extinct for millions of years, so what is one doing in this footage? Some skeptics are quick to call it a fake, saying it's CGI or some kind of hoax, and sure, that's entirely possible. But if this is real, could it mean scientists have already found a way to bring certain extinct animals back without the public even knowing about it? What do you think? Could this be the real deal or just another internet trick? On second thought, if this was some top secret project, it wouldn't be on the internet, right?
Come on, boy. Come on. What?
The moon has long been a source of mystery and intrigue, with countless stories and legends surrounding its enigmatic presence. But this footage, captured in Nashville earlier this year, takes things to another level. In April, a woman was called outside by her friend to take a look at the moon. Sure, it's beautiful at night, but on this day there was something strange happening with it. A friend who had already noticed there was something unusual rushed out with a camera in hand ready to film. She started recording, zoomed in, and within seconds, something shocking happened. Lightning struck, not on the Earth, but onto the moon itself. As they watched in disbelief, you can hear the astonished reactions in the background. According to the woman, her friend mentioned that the moon had been changing colors just before the lightning struck, adding another layer of oddness to the whole event. What could this mean? Was it just a bizarre atmospheric phenomenon, or something more? When lightning striking the moon is unheard of, the fact that the moon seemed to change colors beforehand is even more puzzling. What do you think could have caused this?
What?
Now, I've seen this video before, but I'm gonna play it to you guys anyway because... what the hell, quite frankly. Okay, let's take a look. Genius. Genius. Why centaurs in the Himalayas, first and foremost? You know, they need to go talk to this other woman that thinks Himalayan salt has got to do with giants. Maybe maybe everything that's strange comes from the Himalayas. Maybe, you know? With that, we end today's episode. Thank you very much for staying with us. Now, you know what I'm going to say. Do me a favor. If you got any videos, you got any clips, you got anything that you think that we would want to see, please send it to us at classifiedcaptures@gmail.com. We'll stick it on the channel, and if we feel like it and you feel like it, we'll mention that you sent it to us. Because at the end of the day, this is about you. This ain't about me. This is about you. So tell me what you want. Give me what you want. And I'll put it on the channel. Simple as, huh? Okay, I've been Steve. This has been Classified Captures. Share this with as many people as you can. And I'll see you in the next one.